In the modern world, Italy is most famous for its food items, but the country is home to one of the greatest mathematicians of all time, Fibonacci. From a poor merchant to a friend of the Holy Roman Emperor Frederick III, his story is one from pauper to prince. We here traveled back in time to bring you his story. Fibonacci was born in 1170 as Leonardo Pisano Fibonacci in Pisa, Italy. His mother died in childbirth, and his father was a merchant. That means that Fibonacci would have to travel many times.
I never really was homesick because we were always moving along with business, and the only place every time I ever slept was on the ship.
When in North Africa, Fibonacci began comparing the new Arabian numerals with the traditional ones of Rome. It was here where he developed his famous theory of numbers.
I was trying to figure out all day and all night what made all these calculations fit together, and I just figured it out, just like that.
I suppose I should have known. He was always playing with numbers, always numbers. Everything was about numbers since I recall. First it was the little blocks, counting the blocks, piling them up. Again, numbers all the time. And then he started coming up with these theories that sounded strange in the beginning. But made a lot of sense. I don't know why I was surprised.
So a Fibonacci sequence, or Fibonacci numbers, are an example of a type of closed form expression that abides by the divisibility principle, which means that every sort of sum of that sequence is divisible by other numbers in that sequence.
Fibonacci sequence goes like this: 0 plus 1 equals 1, 1 plus 1 equals 2, 2 plus 1 equals 3, 3 plus 2 equals 5, 5 plus 3 equals 8, and so on. This process also occurs naturally in nature. For example, one pair of rabbits can produce one pair of rabbits, but that one pair can produce two pairs, and those two pairs can produce three pairs, and so on. The process is also involved in this seashell.
What happens is when you graph these things, in terms of their sequences, what they do is they go like this. Fibonacci actually starts here and gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
When my father showed the local mathematicians my equations, they were simply amazed, and they told me of others from afar to consult.
From there, Fibonacci's star rose so greatly, he was honored by the Holy Roman Emperor himself.
I was amazed by the young lad Fibonacci. I invited him to stay at the palace on the grounds with his father. My mathematicians and him would have late-night discussions, and what was amazing were the theories that Fibonacci came up with. Really quite original. I would say that it was one of the highlights of my rule.
It was enough of a thrill just to meet the Holy Roman Emperor himself, but to live with him and be a friend of him, it was a dream come true.
Fibonacci lived with the emperor until his death in 1250, but he still left a lasting impact on the world. His sequence is incredibly famous, and his theories are still used by mathematicians to this day. But hopefully, we can remember him not by sequence, but rather as a person. Thank you for watching Behind the Math.